Hi there, my name is Yash. I'm a solutions engineer here at Copy.ai. Today I'm going to step you through an action that helps you find email addresses for people given a couple of inputs. So if we look at this very simple two-step workflow that we have, if we look at the inputs, we're taking exactly three things in. We're looking for somebody's first name, their last name, and the domain name of the company they work at. And using those three pieces of information, we're going to call a service that we have in the background through this action and make a determination as to what their email address is. So we're collecting those three pieces of information, passing it through to the second step here, and ultimately getting their email address back. Now, the reason this is so useful, even though it seems like a very basic flow, is that the top of just about every marketing and sales funnel involves getting people's contact information so that you can send them highly targeted, useful information that potentially results in a conversation and hopefully some kind of sale or some kind of arrangement, right? So by itself, this action may seem somewhat trivial, but it forms the tip of the spear in terms of a number of other workflows that would be kicked off as a function of this step being completed. So we're going to create this from scratch. To do that, we're going to go over to the workflows panel here on the left and click a plus. And we're going to have the system recreate exactly what you just saw from scratch. There's some hints here that tell you how you would go about doing that, but you can really freestyle and give it whatever you think is a reasonable prompt. I like the given something, do something structure. So I'm going to say given a person's first and last name and the domain name of the company they work at, find their email. All right, so I've gone ahead and I've prompted the system here. It's going to pick apart the command that I gave it, and it's going to determine, okay, what fields do I need to request from the user? What do I do with those fields subsequently? And then ultimately, provide an output to the user, which is essentially to make a determination as to what that person's email address is. So this will take a second here. Perfect. So we've got a two-step workflow here that looks just like the one we had a second ago, but you'll notice very obviously that the second step here is highlighted in red and flashing. That's because it does not yet have specific things passed through to it from the previous step. And as you can see at the top, there's a very helpful hint saying some steps need your attention. So what we want to do is make sure that the fields that we are having the user input or that are being input from a different system are making their way to the right inputs within this action step. So we're going to come here. We're going to navigate across to the first name box. And using the hash symbol, we're able to access everything that is accessible to this particular action and workflow. So in this case, we want to pass through the first name. So I'm going to go ahead and select that. We're going to repeat this to make sure that the second name or last name rather is passed through. And finally, a third time, we want to do this for the company domain. And we are going to save that. Now you'll notice all the warnings have gone away, all the red on the screen has gone away. That essentially means that this action is now a candidate for release and integration with the subsequent workflows that may be queued up with it. But of course, we want to do a little bit of testing. And to do that, we're going to come over here to the test workflow button, click that once, and we're going to put it through its paces a few times. For the purposes of this demonstration, I'm just going to do it once with my own details. So Yash Shrestha, and I work at Copy.ai. And as it turns out, that is also our top level domain that we use. And as you'll see very quickly at the bottom here, it has correctly determined that my email address, my work email address is yash@copy.ai. So you can see how something like this would be very useful as people become increasingly defensive of their online presence and are reluctant to give their coordinates away. Having a meaningful way to get their correct information is a really important part of building funnels and kicking off workflows that do very enriched things with user data, both in a sales and marketing context, but also in any number of other functions.